Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking the Real Housewives of New Jersey, and we just had some tea drop on Instagram as it pertains to, yes, the notorious feud between Teresa and Melissa. And did Melissa and Joe join the Real Housewives of New Jersey behind Teresa's back? It's been a decade long feud, and we're still talking about it, but this time we're going to be talking about an old housewife. If you guys remember Jacqueline, she was married to Chris, and Chris was actually Caroline and Dina's brother. Yes, Caroline and Dina Manzo. Chris was their brother. So again, the whole dynamic of the tangled web that they weave in New Jersey, we have to talk about it, guys. But before we do, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, turn your notifications on. It's super important. And the likes definitely make a difference in my videos and the algorithm of getting it pushed out to people. So hit the like button. Okay. So now there is an account on Instagram called Love, Love, Love Gabriella. I've talked to you guys about this account before because they are an advocate for Teresa Giudice. And they really seem to make interesting moves, right? So first we heard about Laura Lee Jensen and her story that pertains to Margaret and Melissa. And then we heard about Jan, who was a blast from the past, who came back out after all this time and again validated Teresa's claims and said that Melissa was not telling the truth and that she did not text Melissa and tell her that she was lying. She never said that. She never said that Teresa put pressure on her. All of that totally fabricated, right? Some people, it really was like raising a question mark in their mind. Like people that are advocates, they love Melissa, like they've been team Melissa all this time, and there's nothing wrong with that. We're all welcome to have our own opinions. However, I think that it seems like a lot of more people that who typically thought of Teresa as the bad guy are starting to see a little bit of a different perspective because you can ignore it once, twice, but how many times, right? So now we have Jacqueline as our blast from the past. If you guys remember, Jacqueline was one of the very I think did she come on the second season? She worked with the ladies, right? So it was like Jacqueline, Dina, and Teresa that all worked together at Kaufman's before it was like Macy's. And that's how they all knew each other. When it came time for the show, Dina helped put the ladies together. But that's how they all originally met. So Jacqueline's been around since day one, and her and Teresa were always the bestest and dearest of friends, right? Until everything happens with the newspapers and the tabloids and the indictments, right? And even after Teresa goes to prison and comes out of prison, they still try to rekindle their friendship and are unsuccessful. Now, if you guys remember, Jacqueline was definitely friends with Teresa first, right? But she was trying to be a peacemaker between Teresa, Melissa, and her brother. And eventually, what we started to see was Jacqueline went from a peacemaker to maybe being like thinking twice about Teresa and Teresa's intentions. And I think viewers could really see that like a few years down the line, especially in her confessionals. Now, it's important to remember that even Jacqueline calls Melissa a liar several times about the nose job. She calls her out when I think they go on like vacation out west or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but it was something along those lines. And so we've seen Jacqueline call Melissa a liar, but Jacqueline hasn't spoke on any of this in a really, really, really long time, right? There's a tweet I posted every now and again. It's very old, but it does say it's Jacqueline saying that Melissa came on the show without Teresa's knowledge. So the Love Love Gabriella account has been earning there. They've been working hard, okay? And I'm going to show you guys why. Look at this. So Jacqueline is comment. This account asks her what they think about Melissa. She says, "Hi, Jacqueline. Not sure if you'll answer this. I know it's a shot in the dark. Do you think Melissa is a liar?" And she says, well, let's just say that she was really good at lying while keeping a straight face and was very manipulative. The whole time, Melissa and Joe were in my ear, manipulating me, telling me secrets about Teresa, things Teresa would say to them, and telling me things Teresa would say behind my back. I did start to see, damn it, I hate when it does that. Sorry. It always does that whenever I try to click on it. It goes too fast. Okay, so Teresa would say behind my back, I did start to see a different side of Teresa once Melissa came along, which that's understandable considering they were sister-in-laws and, there was all this bad blood. And then she comes on the show. She also says, any thoughts on Melissa's friendship with Carolyn Manzo? And she says, I think they are just friendly acquaintances. Acquaintances. She says Caroline was too old and boring for the show. She must have heard the rumor that Caroline was coming back, and she's trying to offer like a olive branch, probably trying to form her alliances now. Who knows? Oh my goodness. I don't think Caroline's coming back to the show. Teresa talked about this on her podcast. She said, like, Caroline said she would come on the show. She would be a whistleblower. She would do the hard work. She has no problem doing that, except she is a high price tag. She's a high price tag. And that makes sense. She wants too much money. She knows that Teresa's making a lot of money. And she basically said that. Teresa didn't say that on the podcast, but Teresa did say on the Namaste podcast that Caroline said she would come on the show if she could make what she wanted to make on the show. And she's a hot ticket item. And she knows that Teresa's definitely seen her pay increases over the years, as she should have been, had her pay increased. And so Caroline's not going to do it without the right price. And Jacqueline calling her boring, I'm surprised. I mean, I'm sure that Jacqueline knew that Love, Love, Love Gabriella was going to come out and say, like, oh, I'm sorry. It said Melissa said that Caroline was too old and boring for the show. She says, I think they are friendly acquaintances. Melissa always used to say Caroline was too old and boring for the show. Sorry, I missed that part when I was reading it. So Melissa said that. Okay, got you. And so Jacqueline is just repeating what Melissa used to say about Caroline behind her back, which I could see that, because if you guys remember, we've always heard about this audition tape from Melissa, and allegedly this audition tape was like so bad, so terrible, talked so shitty of Teresa. It was like, hey, I'm the new girl, I'm the younger, prettier, hotter, more rich housewife than Teresa. If you like Teresa, you're gonna love me. And basically that she was gonna go on and she had no problem exposing all of Teresa's secrets. And allegedly this audition tape was pretty bad. And it just makes sense to me if I hear them saying, well, Melissa always used to say, like, I'm the younger, hotter Teresa. Like, tell Bravo there's a younger, hotter version of Teresa in New Jersey, and it's me, allegedly. So for her to say that she thought Caroline was too old and boring for the show, that sounds about right. Like, that makes sense in my head. It really does. Now, Jacqueline, again, she would have had to know that the Love Love Gabriella account was going to post the comments, because I'm sure that she asked her if she could. She wouldn't have done it elsewise, because then if you do that, if somebody gives me tea in my DMs and I say, do you want to be anonymous or not? Do you want me to tag you? What do you want me to do? And they say, I want to be anonymous. And then I put their DM out there. Guess what? They're not going to do anymore. They're not going to give me any more tea. That's what they're not going to do anymore. So I don't think that she would have posted these comments without getting Jacqueline's permission first, is my opinion. Just my opinion. But she's definitely, I mean, I don't know, guys. I just feel like the Gorgas, they're just not getting very good press. I'm not saying, I don't mean like that. I mean, like, I think that people are starting to see what Teresa's been talking about. And maybe it's really possible that production has edited things to make it look like Teresa's been the bad guy this whole time. And nobody's saying that Teresa's perfect. Okay, guys, this is just my little commentary for the end of the video. Nobody is saying that Teresa is perfect. We're just saying that maybe she's not the horrific sister-in-law that Melissa has made her out to sound in her confessionals, right? Just saying. Now, another thing I want to mention to you guys, because when we saw the trailer for the Real Housewives of New Jersey, we saw Melissa getting upset that her sisters and mother weren't invited to the wedding. And we see her say, like, my mother has been nothing but good to her, good to Teresa. And I just wanted to remind you guys that if you go back and watch the christening video of them when they get into the argument, initially what starts things getting heated is Melissa's sister. So they're like sitting at a table. It's Joe, Melissa, Melissa's sister, and Melissa's brother-in-law at the table. Teresa and her parents are all the way in the back. Okay. She has a long walk when she goes up to say hello to her brother and Melissa. And when after they get done arguing, Melissa's sister picks up where they left off, and her and Teresa start to bicker. And Teresa says, you know what? You're two-faced because, this isn't what you say on the phone to me all the time. And a good thing to point out is that in the christening video, Melissa's sister has dark hair, and she doesn't have dark hair anymore. She has a blonde. She's a beautiful woman. And her husband's like trying to calm Joe Gorga down and takes them to the bar afterwards, after they, the whole fight and everything transpires. But really, it got heated when Melissa's sister like stood up and things, and her and Teresa started to go back and forth. And if I'm remembering correctly, I want to say that Joe's mom, Joe Judy's mom, like, I think that she hit one of Melissa's sisters. If I'm not mistaken, if somebody could please comment that and let me know if they heard that rumor too, and if I have anyone confused. But I don't want to say if somebody hit her. I think she hit someone else, and it was somebody in Melissa's family, but I'm not sure. So don't quote me on that part, of course. But I'm just saying that allegedly, when I watched the video, it looks like Melissa's sister was playing both sides at some point. Like at some point, her and Teresa were good, and she was either being nice to Teresa and pretending to hate Melissa to get information, and then taking that information back to Melissa, or she was just genuinely talking shit about her sister and didn't expect her sister to get on the show. You just never know. You don't know with people. So if you have that sort of a dynamic with her sister, that you guys started getting so upset with each other at this christening, it started this huge fight. It doesn't seem like it would be someone you would particularly probably invite to your wedding with your new husband. And here's another thing. I don't know. How good of friends was, I just don't know. I don't know. I just don't think that is legitimate in having any. It just seems like Melissa's trying to be problematic, if you ask me. Because I'm sure that her family, maybe they wanted to go because of the clout and because it was like the wedding of New Jersey, and because, the who's who of who in New Jersey wanted to be at that wedding. And so maybe that's why they were mad about it, because they wanted to be seen and be there. And because they are Melissa's family, they thought that they were going to get like a free ticket. And obviously they probably knew it was going to be filmed for a wedding special. Who knows the real, but I can just understand why she probably wouldn't have invited them to the wedding. Just saying. That's all. And I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys think that Melissa or Teresa was wrong in not inviting Melissa's sisters and mother to the wedding? Now, some people in the comments have said that Melissa's mother's been nothing but nice to Teresa, that the issues Teresa had or they had were never ever with the mother. It was always the sisters, not the mother. But again, we're not really sure if that's the case. Her mother always seems very nice on her Instagram. And she seems a little bit, though, I don't even know what the word would be. I don't want to say like flighty, but maybe that's the word. She just seems kind of ditzy, I guess, if you will. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying that's kind of like the feeling I get from her. I just don't see her and Teresa probably. I don't see her being really like nurturing, or you think that she would be different with Teresa after Teresa lost both her parents. It would have been nice for Melissa's mom to be like genuinely kind to her, or see them develop some sort of a relationship. But we didn't see that. And again, I don't think we really saw Melissa's family step in when Teresa and Joe went to prison either. I don't remember seeing like the sisters around. And I've also heard lots of rumors about how Melissa used to try to bring them to film with her. And eventually Bravo was like, listen, ixnay, like we don't want to see your sisters and your mom all the time. And so if you guys noticed last year when they filmed that huge party at their shore house, we didn't see footage of her sisters, maybe for just like a split second. She goes over to get photos with them, but we don't see anything else of them for the rest of the entire night. Maybe we just see a scene of somebody saying, hey Melissa, your mom's here, your sister's here, come get a picture with your mom and your sisters. But they were at that party all night drinking and partying. They were posting about it on their Instagrams, but Bravo didn't put anything of them, no footage. And it's not because they don't want to be, trust me. It's not because they wouldn't sign releases. Okay. That's what it wasn't. So that's interesting. And then it does look like everyone has the same plastic surgeon. I don't mean everyone, but I mean Dolores and Marge, possibly Teresa. They both had posted happy birthdays to this plastic surgeon with their before and their afters. It was Dolores, Marge, and Joe. And they all three must have the same plastic surgeon who did their facelifts. If that's what they had done, I'm not sure. Dolores' most recent photo looks like from 4 days ago that she may have had some work done to her face, and her hair is much darker than the last few times that we've seen it. There's another photo of her from December, and she sort of doesn't look recognizable to me. I'm going to be honest. Her face has changed, I think. I wonder when she had it done. Let me see these photos here. I don't know. I'm just saying, guys, I think she's had some work in between the seasons. I mean, she looks amazing. Dolores is a very beautiful woman. She was beautiful before Housewives. She'll be beautiful long after Housewives. But, she didn't really start doing work until she got a little bit older, or maybe when she started making a little bit more money. Because, yeah, just saying. I don't know. She's beautiful. She's so beautiful. I hope this man Polly is like treating her right. She seems really happy. So I guess that's all we can go by. Speaking of, I just saw a photo of Jeff Lewis. Oh, let me see her face in this picture. When's this from? That does not look like her. First Class and All the Way, November 26th. I'm telling you guys, she's had work done. She's had to have had work done since the last time. But she looks amazing. So go Dolores. I would love to see her have a little bit more pizzazz or passion, or have Teresa's back a little bit more this season. I'm hoping that we're going to see a little bit more from her than we typically do, as far as it pertains to like the other women and who's on what side and why, because she's always just kind of Switzerland. And who knows, guys, maybe she has made her money and she'll do this season with Polly and she'll step down from the show. We don't really know what's in store for Dolores, but I think that she needs to come in swinging. I would hope she needs to pick a team at this point. I understand, but it's, Team Margaret. I feel like she's Team Teresa, and then she's Team Margaret, but then she's Team Teresa, but then she's Team Margaret. And I just think viewers are starting, like, we don't want to turn on Dolores. And I'm not saying that we're going to, because we all love and respect her, but like I just need to see a little bit more from her. That's all I'm saying. What do you guys think? Make sure that you guys hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, turn your notifications on, and make sure that you're following me on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok. Been including lots of little videos for you guys, keeping you guys updated on everything that's going on in all of the Bravo franchises lately. Also wanted to tell you guys that Andy Cohen did do an interview about interviewing Jen Shah. Not particularly interviewing Jen Shah, but about his perspective on how everything went down with Jen Shah. And did it people were perceiving it that Andy Cohen didn't want Jen Shah to get a sentence, or didn't want her to get sentenced to prison. And he was basically saying, like, listen, guys, the context in which I was saying that was, sometimes we don't want to believe people are bad people. Like, we don't want to believe that the housewife is actually been robbing people or stealing money or doing a telemarketing scheme. He didn't mean like I don't want to see her go to prison. He meant like I don't want to see her go to prison because I don't want to think that she's a bad person. So that made a little bit more sense to me, at least, just saying. And also, guys, make sure that you stay tuned, because I'm going to have some new content coming up on Erica Girardi. I've been hearing about some new cases, some new civil cases. So I'm going to do some digging. I also have some unseen photos from their Pasadena mansion. You guys know I love antiques. Antique photos even. I did post some older photos of Erica before really she started to have a lot of work done. They're on my Instagram, the Housewife Historian. You guys can check those out. But I'm not gonna post the photos inside the Pasadena mansion on Instagram until I actually do my video on YouTube. So make sure you guys stay tuned, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. Have a great day.